What's up, YouTube? Mighty Game Bros here, about to take you on a philosophical adventure through the world of the Talos Principle. Created by Croteam out of Croatia, this is a first-person science fiction philosophical puzzle game with heavy story elements that you gotta kind of find to figure out on your own. We're going to play this for a few minutes, and you're going to try to wrap your head around what's going on here. We wake up as a robot, risen from the dust by this guy named Elohim, who says if we can solve all 120 of his puzzles, he'll grant us eternal life.
Behold, child, you are risen from the dust, and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your maker. And I am called Elohim. Seek me in my temple, if you are worthy.
Alright, so we're going to pass through this purple door here. These purple doors act as checkpoints. You're also going to find blue doors like this, which act as barriers, and we're going to have to shut them down if we want to proceed here. So over here we find an object. These are called jammers. And you basically use these to progress through the puzzles. Like that. You can pick up the jammer with A, drop it with A, it's very simple. You cannot take the jammers through these purple doors, so you're going to have to leave them behind. You can't do this either. You can't bring them with you. So let's move on here. You're also going to find these floating spheres. I call them drones. If you get too close, they'll detect you and you can kind of back off from them, and they're not too hard to get by. But if you do get close, they'll explode and reset you back at the purple door. So you got to look around for these jammers. This is key. We're going to jam him. And we have a machine gun here. I'm sure you know what's going to happen if we walk down this pathway. We're going to get shot. So around here is another jammer. We're going to jam him and we're clearing the way. The area is sprinkled with these QR codes that are pasted to the walls. If you look at them, you'll get a piece of the story. You got to kind of keep your eye out for them. I missed quite a few when I first ran through here.
I have created trials for you to overcome, and within each I have hidden a sigil. It is your purpose to seek these sigils, for thus you will serve the generations to come and attain eternal life.
So yep, the world is filled with sigils that we're going to need to open up doors and progress through the world. This is one of those gates, and if we find these 3 sigils and place them correctly, then this will open and act as a key and we'll be able to move on to the temple. These are signs. Beyond this door, these 2 sigils exist, and we can go through there to find those once we've unlocked the door. Let's go and collect these 3 sigils quick and get to the temple. Each puzzle is named loosely based on what the puzzle's going to be about. Switch out of place basically means that there's this machine gun here. If we go through here, we're going to die. But it's connected to this switch over here that's out of place. That's how it works. Over here we find another jammer. Let's shut this machine gun down. And shut it off. You'll see why in a second. There's this drone here. If we don't shut it off, shut that machine gun off, we won't be able to get this jammer to this side to shut the drone down. And we've got our first sigil.
The shapes you are collecting are not mere toys. They are the sigils of our name. Each brings you closer to eternity.
As we collect the sigils, the signs outside are marked with an X to tell you that you have been there already. Sigils over here. We've got a machine gun blocking this path here, but not only that, but we've got a drone. Looks like we're outnumbered as the puzzle suggests, but we're going to take a look around this side and see what we've got. Jammer here. Now jamming this machine gun's not enough, because once I get through to the other side, we've got to deal with this drone over here. So as we can see, this blue door is blocking the path of the drone. It'd be a good idea to get him out of there, so why don't we unjam this machine gun and let him out and kind of lock the door behind him there. Now he can't get in. Shut that guy down, and now we've cleared the path.
Well done, child. Only one more sigil is needed.
Now, you're not going to be able to use the jammers to shut these drones down all the time. I mean, there's a wide variety of puzzles to solve and a lot of different ways to solve them. We're just going to kind of sneak up behind this one here and go in here and grab this jammer. We'll leave him be for a sec because we don't really need to shut him down. What we need to do is get these two doors open and shut this guy down. But I've only got one jammer. This guy's banging into this door like the other guy was, so let's let that door open and close him in there. Now we've opened this door and we're able to get our sigil.
My temple awaits you, child. Go forth.
Controls are your pretty standard first-person game. RB is to run. LB is to jump. I'm not playing with a keyboard and mouse here, obviously. I'm playing with a controller. If you hold Y, you'll reset to the beginning of the puzzle where you last entered. B is a journal. You're going to collect journal entries. That's about it. It's pretty simply controlled. There's also yellow sigils that'll open up other doors. We'll see a few of those in a second. And there's more sigils in an area than you need to open up the door. If I was playing this through, I would for sure be going through here and collecting all this stuff, but I'm just giving you a good idea of what this game is and how it's played. We're going to move on here. So now we've got these sigils, we've got to place them correctly in this pattern here. These obviously get more complex as the game goes on. You'll also get a lot of story through these terminals, which you can access. And it's going to give you a list of items that you can select and go through. There's a lot of information in here. I'm not going to go through it all. Maybe just a couple, just so you can see what it's all about. But you could easily spend a good 10 minutes reading this stuff. Each of these commands leads further into the system, and you extract information from it. These terminals are littered all over the world. What I like is if you don't want to go through it all, you can kind of skip them like we did there, but I suggest going through them. It's pretty interesting. But I do like that it's not forced. We've got a yellow door here, yellow sigil here, and a green sigil over here. And you're going to keep track with these
Step into
signs
the light,
here.
child, and my temple will be revealed.
We collected those first 3 to open up the door. We got a gold star.
You walk now upon the stones of my temple, whence many gates lead. And know that I have other temples, for my garden is greater than your eye can encompass. And all these worlds I made for you.
So yeah, there are other temples. This is the first one we found, and it's going to lead you to other areas. Let's hit number 2. You can see what this is all about here.
Let this be our covenant. These worlds are yours, and you are free to walk amongst them and subdue them. But the great tower, there you may not go. For in the day that you do, you shall surely die.
So there was a pretty interesting story element. There seems to be a tower here that if we go there, we're going to die. And I'm getting the feeling that in this game, we're going to end up going there and figuring out really what's happening here. Usually in video games where they tell you not to go, that's where you end up going.
When I was a little girl, one of our teachers, Mrs. Higgins, told us to make a time capsule, write letters to the future, so one day we could remember what it was like to be children. I thought it was stupid, so I didn't do it, which I really regret. So, I guess I'm gonna make one now, bury it in the archive instead of under a tree. I don't know if anybody will ever find it, but somehow it seems important to keep talking, to keep thinking, for as long as I can.
So we've just collected a piece of our journal here. You can replay them from here.
When I was a little girl, one of our teachers, Mrs. Higgins, told us to make a...
And I found a recording. And this is the first time I've seen that. I don't even know what it is. I hope I can find him again. I want to see if I can interact with it. Or maybe I'll leave that for you to figure out if you decide to pick this up. Anyway, I hope that gives you a better idea of what the Talos Principle is all about. If anything, it's probably left you with more questions than answers. But I guess that's what it's all about, right? They don't want to give us everything. I don't want to give away everything right away, and I want to figure this out too on my own. I'm sure there's lots of Let's Plays of this on YouTube you can check out now, but if you're looking for something that's a bit more spoiler-free and just to kind of wrap your head around what's going on, hopefully this video helped you out. Anyway, that's been the Talos Principle, presented by Mighty Game Bros, created by Croteam. It's on Steam right now for $43.99 Canadian. Check it out. There's a couple DLC packs as well, and I believe it's coming out on the PlayStation 4 this coming October. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for listening. Have a good night, everybody.